Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. Now listen, we're gonna get right into it. The amount of evidence, leaks, spoilers, debunks that I found for this video is insane, so I promise it's worth your time. It's gonna break down everything so well. We know in the Power universe there's a ton of theories every single season for every single character, but for some reason for Raising Kanan season 3 it's at an all-time high. We got the theories of the possible death of Rock, of Ronnie, Unique being alive, coming back, and most of all, who is Breeze. Now listen, I'm not gonna say any of this is confirmed. I'm just gonna show you guys the pros and cons to every theory that explains how season 3 of Raising Kanan is gonna end, and going into season 4, what can we expect. So we're gonna be going through like 3 to 4 different theories, and the biggest one of all, as you can see on the thumbnail and in the title, people saying Unique is alive and will return as Breeze. Now once again, I'm not gonna say which one I believe. I'm not gonna tell you which one you could believe. I'm once again just gonna point out all the pros and cons for each of them, and you could tell me your thoughts and opinions down below. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Now we're obviously gonna start off with the reason all you guys are here, and that's Unique being alive and being Breeze. And this honestly been a theory since the episode Ronnie beat the fuck out of him, but it's just growing more and more popular by the day. So I'm gonna explain all the pros first and then talk about the cons. So first off, like I said, it was always a theory because we never saw a body. A body was never found after Ronnie dumped and kicked him down. So a lot of people were assuming that, hey, he'll come away, he's just hurt. There's really no proof that he is dead. And there's also a line Ronnie said within the next episode telling Jukebox and Kanan that he's on vacation, he's coming back, basically saying the nigga is not dead.
He taking time off. He'll be back.
That's not what I heard.
So a lot of people took that as a hint and have been holding on to it ever since. But now the biggest piece of evidence is this new picture we see of Unique coming out of Kanan and Famous's apartment. Now, why is this important? Obviously, we never seen this scene take place, and it's just surfacing. So Kanan and Famous moved into that apartment mid to late season 2, and we've never seen this picture before. So a lot of people are saying it could be a scene that they took out and everything like that, but it's also possible that it's a scene that's still yet to take place. As you can see, someone is taking a picture of this. They're taking a picture of the people filming this scene and filming everything that's going on. As you can see, the cameras, the boom mics, and everything, and it looks like Unique is coming out the apartment, and it looks like Crystal that might be going in, which makes sense as we've been seeing in the past few episodes. Crystal and Kanan have been getting closer and in some type of relationship. If you look, Crystal was wearing a jacket exactly like this in episode 8 when her and Kanan was kissing. Now obviously the jackets look way darker and lighter, but this is without editing, color correction, or any of that. This is just another clue I want to point out. These jackets are very similar. So a lot of people are saying this is him coming back. Now another clue that they have been using is the continuation of Vanessa's story. Now Vanessa, we obviously know she's been around for a while, but this season she's been more of a character included in storylines with the whole shit with Ronnie, and even after the supposed death of Unique, they still been continuing her storyline. We saw her go to Rock House, pull out the gun, asking where Unique is. We saw her and Ronnie get into it, her leave, go live with her mom, and then come back and find Ronnie and Juliana in that house together and be the one to tell Rock basically that Juliana was the supplier, even though she didn't intend to. That's what she did. So people are thinking they're continuing her storyline so it hits harder when Unique returns, when he sees her again, his son, and everything like that. On to the next pro is the name of the next episode, Home to Roost. Now if you guys don't know what Home to Roost means, it's the name for episode 9, and it usually means like of a person's past actions that is coming back to haunt them or causing them problems in the present. And now people might think that doesn't really matter, that doesn't make sense, but usually the names for these episodes are pretty on the nose. For example, episode 5, the episode that Ronnie took Unique out, was called Brothers and Keepers, and the description directly said it was going to have something to do with him. So people believe because it's called Home to Roost, Unique will be returning home and he will be causing problems for Ronnie in the future, which once again, I think is a pretty good clue and detail to pay attention to. Now on to the biggest con, and really the only one I could find, is Joey Badass, the actor that plays Unique, directly talking about it in an interview with TMZ. And I'll play the clip, but he was basically saying how he was balancing two careers, of course making music and a show, and they unfortunately had to get rid of him.
Are you really dead?
Fortunately, I do have two careers that I'm balancing, so I had to, go on tour, and we just kind of couldn't make it work. They had to take out Unique, so.
Now he was being playful, talk about put up a petition for him to come back and return and everything like that, and he didn't really say he was dead. He said they had to take Unique out. So some people is gonna see that as a pro, even with what he's saying, but I'm gonna list it as a con because the actor is directly talking about balancing his two careers and lives. And I also saw another interview of him talking about wanting to pursue roles that he isn't typecasted, show his range and everything like that. And he spoke on how Unique was a character that was been supposed to die, but he became a fan favorite. Everyone started to love him, so he stuck around longer than he was supposed to in the first place. Now, the next three things I'm about to go through have way less validity to them, meaning there's less pros and more cons. Two of them is descriptions or alleged descriptions for season 4 of Raising Kanan. So I'm going to go ahead and read both of those. One should be on the screen right now if you're already reading it. And then I'm going to talk about another person they're talking about could possibly be Breeze, an actor. They're saying it could be him, but once again, these have way more things that you can use to debunk all these reasonings. But let's get into them. Now, in the first description, the most important piece I want to point out is the death of Ronnie, but I'm going to go ahead and read the whole thing. In season 4 of Raising Kanan, the Thomas family finds themselves caught in a web of conflicting loyalties, moral dilemmas, and personal crises that shake the very foundations of their identities. Kanan, still reeling from the death of his partner Ronnie, is determined to seek revenge while forging his own path free from his mother's manipulation. Famous lays low, navigating the dangerous drug game, and Jukebox, now independent, embarks on a long journey of self-discovery. Now, honestly, when you read that, it sounds like a description it would actually make or that could possibly be real, but the con is apparently these are all on Fire Sticks, as well as the one I'm gonna read next. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know, apparently on Fire Sticks, if you want to, you can go into add and change your own descriptions. So once again, take all these with a grain of salt. But the key of this description, of course, was the part where it's talking about Kanan still reeling from the death of his partner Ronnie. So for the people who believe Ronnie is Breeze and that he's not dying anytime soon, obviously you won't believe this description or anything like that. Now, I personally predicted that Ronnie will die at the end of season 3, but I still don't even believe this screenshot. I just don't know. You can only take it with a grain of salt. Now, what I will say about this screenshot in particular is, if it is true that Unique is coming back and that he is possibly Breeze, then it can also be true that Ronnie is killed off by the end of season 3. That could make a lot of sense. Unique comes back and wants revenge, but it says Kanan is reeling with that debt, and it looks like Unique in the picture is coming from Kanan's apartment. So I would have thought they had a talk or conversation or something about it, but who knows. Once again, take this screenshot with a grain of salt. Now on to the second description. It says, in season 4 of Raising Kanan, the remaining members of the Thomas family grieve the loss of their own. Kanan, still reeling from the death of his friend Famous, is determined to seek revenge while forging his path while in war with Joaquin. Ronnie enters a sexual relationship with Nakia, complicating things with Butter. Jukebox, now on a dark path after her dreams have been shattered, look for ways out of Queens. Young Jason Mitchell, Serbian gang member, begins his rise to the throne. After Howard is sentenced to death, he looks to find ways to atone for his sins. The ghost of Juliana hunts Rock at every turn. Now, honestly, this screenshot might be the most bullshit one. Some of it could be valid, some of it is just they just made it up as they went. First off, the most important important one is the death of his friend Famous. Famous was one of my death predictions, but once again, just because that's something I predicted doesn't mean I'm gonna automatically believe this screenshot. Famous, we see in the next episode, he is gonna get choked up by Ronnie. Something's gonna happen, something gonna pop off. We also know he's dealing and battling with him still having the gun he used to murder Freddy. So he has a lot going on. His storyline can possibly continue into season 4 or in at the end of season 3. But my problem is with the rest of this screenshot. Ronnie enters a relationship with Nakia makes no sense because it says it complicates things with Butter, but also says jukebox on a dark path after her genes are shattered. So wouldn't that mean the Butter group is over? And why is Ronnie getting in a relationship with the manager? That makes completely no sense, and it's irrelevant enough to put in the description. And then the young Jason Mitchell, he doesn't come into Ghost and Tommy's lives until like season 4 or 5 of the original Power. So it wasn't like he's a staple character that needs to be in Raising Kanan. It also doesn't make sense because Kanan didn't initially know him in the older Power. He met him through Tommy. So it wouldn't make sense for him to start coming up on his business. Kanan would have learned about him way sooner. And last but not least, the Howard sentenced the dad and looks for a way to atone his sins could be possible. Howard, the task force, they're gonna find out he's a dirty cop. Burke's dad is looking into him, but the ghost of Juliana hunts Rock at every turn. Rock doesn't give a fuck about Juliana. She literally just killed her in the last episode. She been had a bullet with her name on it. Juliana betrays her, so that completely makes no sense. So this screenshot most of all can show you that people can edit and put in whatever the fuck they want. So once again, as I keep saying and mentioning, take all these with a grain of salt. And last but not least, to run through this one really fast, it has Curtis Cook Jr. saying he's gonna play Breeze in season 4. Now, to get this out the way straight and quick, this has already been debunked. This guy actually already played a character in Power in like season 3 or 4. I believe Jukebox killed this nigga. His name was Wookie or some shit. If I can find the clips, I'll put it in this video. But this has been found on another website where you can personally go in and edit it to say and do what you want. So a lot of people are pointing at this to prove that Ronnie or Unique isn't Breeze as well. And this doesn't mean that this nigga isn't. I'm just saying, once again, these are all the theories that's going out there. Whichever one you choose to believe or whichever one you already predicted, that's the one more than likely most of you are gonna choose to go with, if we're being real. Overall, that's it for this video. You guys, once again, tell me what you think down below. What theory or prediction you have for the rest of the season and what you see playing out going into season 4. Whether it's who do you think is Breeze, whether it's who do you see dying by the end of season 3. Just put all that down below. A lot of these have a lot of evidence, and some of them people just made up, pulled out the ass. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. And people are gonna be like, you put spoilers in the title and shit like that, and that's just strictly because if any of this turns out to be true and someone doesn't want to watch the video because it says spoilers or anything like that, then I want them to let them know, because anything in this video could be true with how much I just talked about. As usual though, you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe. Can't wait for episode 9 and 10. It's gonna be a good one, but I'm out.